Hey, Frank, I'm Ahearn, privacy expert and blackmail strategist. I'm going to talk about how to stop blackmail and the differences between the variety of blackmails that exist. I mean, for the most part, there's two types, okay? And that's online, digital, where you met someone on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Snapchat, whatever social media platform, or an escort ad, but actually never met the individual. And then there's in-person blackmail, which is when you actually physically met the person. And it could be an escort that you've been visiting for, past couple of months, a sugar daddy situation where you involved yourself with a partner and you help them out financially, to infidelity blackmail where you've had an extramarital affair and you decide to end it, and it escalated into blackmail and sometimes stalking. So most blackmail, you know the start to ending all blackmail is stalling the first payment. And what I mean by that is, the minute you're hit with, I want money, you better pay me money, I'm going to expose you, you have to just assume a different position in the situation. You can't all of a sudden fall victim and freak out and, oh my God, they're going to ruin my life, and crumble to pieces. You got to get into the fight. And get into the fight means you need to stand up and stall. Listen, I got no money. I need 48 hours to get some cash. My friend will lend me some money. And you have to hammer that back at them. Now, they're hammering pictures of you, your Facebook friends, your Instagram friends, but you have to stand your ground, okay? Because if you don't stand your ground and you crumble to pay, they're just coming right back at you. The other thing is, in-person blackmail, they may know your finances and recognize you have cash. So the psychology of it is more so, look, you really caught me by surprise here. I need to wrap my head around this situation. Yeah, I mean, let me just think about it. Give me a day or two. I need to figure this out. So you're ambiguous in your response, okay? And again, I mean, sometimes in-person blackmailers will say to you, look, I just want 5,000 and I'll walk away. The problem with that is, you give that 5,000, man, once they deplete that, they're coming right back at you because you're an ATM, and you must avoid being an ATM. So both cases of blackmail are a question of stalling and just backing them off. And then what happens is, you need to find blackmail help or learn how to stop blackmail online. Be careful with the information you read about, because information will tell you to block a blackmailer. You never do that. That's stupid. You'll end up becoming, becoming a victim of exposure at that point, because you just ignore the blackmailer. You're not even in a fight anymore, so they figure they will just send pictures to your Facebook friends. The problem with in-person blackmail, where you've met the individual and you may have had a relationship with, if you ignore what they're telling you and what they're demanding, they should come knocking at your door. And these in-person blackmail situations are a question of whether that is going to escalate into stalking. And the reason I say this is, from a financial point of view, a sugar daddy point of view, you've pulled the rug out from somebody and you're no longer feeding them cash, so they're pissed off at you. In an extramarital affair, you don't know if the individual fell in love with you or has deep feelings for you. Next thing you know, you're ending it. They don't want to end it. So those things really need to be dealt with in a very delicate manner to determine first where the person is mentally and emotionally. So the bottom line is, you need to stall, find the right blackmail help, and then act. It's not going to be easy. It's not easy combating blackmail. Most blackmail is about this continuous stalling, pushing off, backing them off, and I need time. My friend who was going to lend me money hasn't paid me, and it's a hard thing to do, but you have no choice. It's a hard thing to see them send you pictures of your spouse's Facebook, or your sister's Instagram, page, or your boss LinkedIn. because it's that borderline to, or that doorway to potentially ruining your life. But either way, look, you got to be strong. If you need help with blackmail, reach out. I'm Frank M. Ahearn. I take over blackmail, I protect you, and I get rid of the blackmailer. So, one more thing. In most cases of blackmail, blackmailers don't expose. The problem is you just don't know if you have the one that does. So, be safe. Any questions, reach out.